The deadliest year. These are the faces of those killed in what's being called an overdose epidemic. These are just a few of those people lost to opioids in 2015 in Kent County. For months, Target 8 has been gathering pieces of this tapestry, names, ages, and stories.
Target 8 investigator Susan Samples wanted to get a clearer picture of who we're losing in this plague. Susan.
Brian and Marley, 2015 was Kent County's deadliest year yet for drug overdoses. There were 109 of them. 84 of those people died from opioids like heroin and prescription painkillers. The youngest to die was 10-month-old Chance Powell. The Sparta toddler accidentally got a hold of a morphine pill. His grandmother told police she kept her bottle of morphine inside her bra because her grown kids had drug problems and she couldn't trust them not to steal her pills. The only teenager among the 84 who died spent her final hours in this Wyoming apartment. The 17-year-old girl was hanging out with a friend, took oxycodone and cocaine, fell asleep, and never woke up. There was the 20-year-old GRCC student who loved to skateboard, write hip-hop lyrics, read. He died of a heroin overdose. So did this 30-year-old who lived for nature, animals, and especially her pet foxes. Heroin took the life, too, of this 51-year-old breast cancer and domestic abuse survivor who was a voice for the voiceless. Of the 84 deaths, about 2/3 happened in the suburbs, the rest within the city of Grand Rapids. One of those happened in the restroom of an Easttown coffee shop.
I just want people to know there's more to him than the last headline about him.
35-year-old Ben Aldrich loved to cook, worked as a chef across the country.
He was very kind and generous. Beautiful smile, absolutely. Laughed very easily. Always was wanting to help the underdog.
Kelly Thurston's firstborn son spent the last month of his life totally clean of drugs and alcohol for the first time in 15 years. Thurston even dared to hope that her son might have a real shot at recovery.
I watched him come back slowly but surely. Come back to the point that when I would talk to him and see him, I would be like, oh, there he is. I didn't even know he was still there. But he was. Underneath all that.
Thurston thinks her son's fight with addiction was sparked by teenage experimentation. He was always adventurous, so much energy and zest for life.
This is my favorite picture because I think it's the essence of Ben. Running at life. Arms wide open. What do you got for me?
In 2011, Aldrich was more excited than ever. He and his girlfriend were expecting a baby.
He was awesome with kids. And so he was really, really looking forward to this.
But when the baby, Olivia, was stillborn at 40 weeks.
It was kind of the beginning of the end.
4 months later, Aldrich was diagnosed with lymphoma, got pneumonia during chemo, was put on life support, and when he awakened, had nerve damage in his feet.
He had a lot of pain, shooting pain.
Aldrich struggled to manage his pain and his addiction, a plight common to many of those who died in 2015. He tried to take his own life at one point, but then he got clean. He came back.
I'm so glad I got to see that. Yeah. He was back for a while.
The last time Thurston saw her son, she brought him food to the sober house where he was staying.
I stopped at the house. He came down the steps. I gave him the food. I did not get out of the car. That's my regret. I didn't get out of the car.
2 days later, Aldrich was found dead of a heroin overdose at the Kava House coffee shop. But Thurston prefers that you remember him and the dozens of others who died in 2015 the way she does.
There's someone like this in all of them. This is who you have to keep in your mind so that you'll continue to be there for them. Because it's hard.
We reached out to dozens of families who lost loved ones to opioids in 2015 in Kent County. If they did not want their loved ones identified, we respected their wishes entirely, but many of them wanted to share their stories, hoping that someone else might be helped by them. You can read those stories inside my piece at woodtv.com right now. I'm Target 8 investigator Susan Samples.